Hey gamers, I can't believe it, and you probably know what the title means, and I'm a few days late. Gamescom, Sony, what the fuck? I'm going to show you a couple of clips and point out to people why Sony fucked up and why they are a bad company and why I'm giving up supporting them and trying to be positive about this company whatsoever. I'm going to compare the first few minutes, the first few minutes of their Gamescom press conference compared to Microsoft's, and show you the difference between professionalism and the way they handle it and how they one doesn't take their market seriously and Microsoft do. So sit back, watch the Sony one, and then when the Sony one's finished, I'll go on and talk about the faults I see with it, and then we'll whack on the Microsoft one, and I'll tell you why Microsoft won completely. Watch it, gamers. Watch it.
Good evening and a huge welcome to Gamescom 2014. We hope you enjoyed the latest videos of our first-party lineup, particularly the first gameplay footage of Bloodborne. All of these exclusive games ship within the next 6 months, and later on you're going to see a whole load of fresh first-party content. It's been quite some year for our industry since we were last here in Cologne. We were proud to launch PS4 everywhere in Europe on November 29th, and humbled by the incredible reaction from gamers all around the world. It's clear that the socially connected experience that lies at the heart of PS4 has resonated with gamers everywhere. And to demonstrate this, I'm pleased to announce that the install base of PlayStation 4 has now exceeded 10 million units globally. And just to be clear, that means 10 million PS4s sold through to consumers. We thank gamers everywhere for helping us achieve this landmark in less than 9 months. So it's my pleasure and honor to make this announcement with the man responsible for this success here in the audience tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the President and Group CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment Inc. and my boss, Andrew House.
Hello everyone, hello Gamescom, hello Germany. So I'm Dylan Cuthbert and I run an indie studio called Q Games over in Kyoto in Japan. Hopefully some of you have heard or even played some of our Pixel Junk series of games. Well, hopefully some of you have. Well, those 2D games are kind of what we've been famous for these past few years.
There you have it. Now, you're probably saying, well, that was a pretty good press conference. What's wrong with that? Couple of things. One, European Gamescom, a British man as the CEO representing it. You don't think it's important? I do. Right? Two, the way he was talking constantly up here. Right? Not in getting involved with the crowd. And then he had the audacity to talk about the 10 million consoles sold. What did he fucking do? Right? That's the first thing. Like, they're just throwing a number out there. And then on top of that, he does the biggest international brown nosing I've ever seen. All thanks to our boss down the crowd, like, yeah, fucking yeah. I don't care about your boss. He's unprofessional. He's a hack, and he's a joke, and you are a joke. And then, so he's pretty. And then he keeps on saying, "Oh, look, we in PlayStation take Europeans very seriously. We've always been fascinated how Europeans play. Of course you would be, you dickhead. I mean, you're an Englishman, for fuck's sake. I mean, if you want to know how the European market works, you get a European involved. And that's how it happens, gamers. And you're not doing it. And Sony doesn't do it. And then, the guy after, they got a guy, okay, indie games are great, but why did this guy come out and he was lackluster? When you're out on stage, in a grand stage, the last thing you say is, The first thing I've learned as doing commentary on YouTube is don't put the word in it. What's everybody doing? He says, It's a big no-no. And then he's just got, think outside the box. A little bit more behind it, people. A little bit more pizzazz. And you don't think that's important? Well, I think it is, gamers. So now, look at the difference. Look at the difference. You've just seen the Sony one. I'll let it go for a lot longer. But then look at the Microsoft one. And then I'm going to point out a couple of things that Sony has done, which is really bad this Gamescom. And I'm surprised nobody else has picked it up. So just check out this clip.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, mein Name ist Gregor Bieler vom Xbox Deutschland Team. Und es ist mir eine große Ehre, Sie im Rahmen der Gamescom 2014 Pressekonferenz im Namen von Xbox willkommen zu heißen. Wir begrüßen Sie live aus Köln in Deutschland, dem Land des Fußballweltmeisters 2014. Ja! Bitte heißen Sie nun mit mir gemeinsam Ihren Gastgeber, Head of Xbox, auf der Bühne willkommen, Phil Spencer.
Thanks, Gregor. Good afternoon and welcome. It's an honor to be here in Cologne, Germany for Gamescom 2014. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the many gamers around the world who are joining us on Xbox.com, Xbox Live, and Twitch TV. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the many development and publishing partners who have joined us here today, both on stage and in the audience. Thank you for your partnership, and thank you for your support. I've said it before, it's an incredible time to be a gamer. And more specifically, it's an incredible time to be an Xbox One gamer. The minute you pick up an Xbox One controller, you become part of a global community. And this fall, the community of gamers on Xbox is growing. We look forward to bringing Xbox One to 29 new markets around the world this year, including many across Europe, starting on September 2nd. If there's one thing we'd like you to take away from our show today, it's this. Xbox is the best place to play. This holiday, Xbox One will be the best place you can play the biggest blockbusters, franchises alongside groundbreaking exclusives, blockbuster titles like the stunning Assassin's Creed Unity, which we just showed you. Grand Theft Auto 5 will move to Xbox One this fall with an incredible new level of detail. Xbox One gamers can carry over their GTA Online characters and progression from either PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. And of course, Destiny from our friends at Bungie. When the sci-fi adventure launches September 9th, the best place to play will be with your friends on Xbox Live. And the list goes on, including titles we'll see more of today: Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, FIFA 15, and more. Today, new gameplay from some of the most anticipated Xbox One exclusives: Sunset Overdrive, Forza Horizon 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, and of course, Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Gamers, that was the Microsoft presentation. Very professional. They had somebody representing Europe, Deutschland. How good's that? Speaking a foreign language. So respecting the people that you're trying to sell your product to. Because he doesn't understand European, so they employ somebody to do it. He mentions, yeah, the Deutschland bloke was proud. He was selling his product with guarantee. He was walking around engaging people, and the people were very close to him. Did you notice that one, gamers? Mutual respects. No, this hierarchy bullshit or him pointing to his boss on the stage. No, he welcomed his boss on the stage, shook his hand, and there's mutual respect and earned by each other. And that is seen by people in the world. Not doing this and talking up in the camera and thanking your boss responsible for selling 10 million units. That's a big toss off and brown nosing. No. Then Phil Spencer comes there and says we respect the European market and we're here for gamers. You want to play games for here. He mentioned gamers so many times. Didn't hear it once in the Sony press conference for the first boring 10 minutes that I watched it. And then, you know, they did so much. They just sold so much of games. As an Xbox One owner, proud. As a PlayStation 4 owner, very pissed off, because there is another good thing that Phil Spencer did, which I'm very big on professionalism here, was he congratulated Sony on their press conference for Gamescom. Good work, Phil. You nailed it, mate. Absolutely professional. That's the way it should go. Now, the thing that I've noticed, just by getting those couple of clips to record on my Elgato, was I, to keep it neutral, got the IGN video of Sony PlayStation and the Microsoft Gamescom. Now, the PlayStation one is shorter because it goes straight to PlayStation. But, you know, IGN, and this is what I don't like about Sony, IGN, they're in their pockets, they're in their pants, they're brown nosing like the guy on stage. It took about 15 minutes before you got to any of the press conference of the Microsoft one. And not only that, they whacked in a Far Cry 3 ad, or 4 ad, sorry, in front of it, which had Sony PlayStation blazoned all over it. That is a blatant trying to slap in the Microsoft's face there and make people bored. I cannot believe it. It's so unprofessional, it's so crap, and I can't believe Sony will be in bed with people like that, because that's desperate. Throwing out numbers with no substance behind it, no PlanetSide 2, nothing really great. Yet some great indie games, fantastic stuff, but lackluster. The whole thing was lackluster, and I've given up supporting the PlayStation 4. I'll still keep it there as a reminder of what shit is out there. It would remind me how a company is not marketing itself, and where the fuck was Yoshida? You know, they had some games and it was boring. It was totally boring, and they got IGN in their pocket. Microsoft had mutual respect for your gamers. You felt like when you watched it, and not only that, you could watch it on your bloody console. Fuck, you couldn't do that with the PlayStation 4. I mean, this is how bad Sony is, Sony fans and Sony ponies. This is how bad Sony is. When you bought the console, Blu-ray is a Sony product. You had to get an update for 3D after the Xbox One did it. I mean, and you still have a go at Xbox. Have a go at Sony. They are not there for you. They are there for themselves. And you saw in that crowd, Gamescom to them was just a big, mutual masturbation amongst the big bosses. Now they're all full dust. I mean, when he stood up there and said, he goes, yeah, I'm going to a cheap shot at EA and Microsoft, and I ripped off all 10 million of you fuckers. That's why I'm proud. No, mate, if I ever meet you in person, you'd be running, you little fucking squirm of a man. You've ripped me off, and you ripped gamers off. I'm so pissed off. It's the last time I'm doing this. I hope you enjoyed the clips. I will get hate from this video, but that's because you know I'm fucking right. Microsoft for the win. Phil Spencer, Uncle Phil, is the champion far as I'm concerned. Without a doubt, you are working your team well with new updates, promising a great game, the Master Chief Collection. Why bother going to Sony? What? Timed exclusive? Sony are idiots. They are. I'm so frustrated. I don't think this is my best video, but look, I just have to point that out to you gamers. I hope you see that, gamers. I hope you see that Sony's fooled us and they don't really give a fuck about us. Purely by having an Englishman addressing Europeans at the Europeans E3 version of Gamescom of games. That is a big no-no. Microsoft thought outside the box and they employed the locals to show them how to do it. Hell, even here in Australia, they're sending local talent of reporters to go over there. Because why? The local talent knows the local consumers. It's called being fucking smart. And Sony, you ain't got it. You leave your people high and fucking dry. Fix it or fuck off is what I'm saying. Because quite frankly, Phil Spencer, man, he's going to be wiping off his boots in less than a year. And if you don't see that, you deserve everything you get. And I feel sorry for everybody just was resorted to only buying one console because of the bullshit you came out with. Frag and tag, keep it positive, be good to your owners. Be good to those that own you, sorry. Sony owners, I'm sorry, but you know the truth is out there. Change it. Xbox for the win. Catch you mofos on the battlefield. Man, she's hot.